The Trolling Master is back in this new issue of Star Wars Yoda. This is issue number 10, where Yoda tackles the biggest problem that post-Order 66 Jedi faced, and that is the traumatic past that all of these Jedi have passed through. Except for, it seems, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he's back as a Force ghost. Yoda remembers long ago conversing with his new friend Bree on his home planet, when all of a sudden this good dream is disrupted by a destructive force. That is the Death Star. As Yoda pulls out his lightsaber ready for battle, he is not ready for what comes next, and that is a young Anakin Skywalker. More specifically, a horrifying ghost figure of a young Anakin. What's interesting is that this Anakin doesn't appear to be Attack of the Clones Anakin, but not Phantom Menace Anakin. It is somewhere in the middle there. After that, even more horrifying, a horrific figure of Qui-Gon appears too, blaming Yoda because he didn't notice what was coming, the darkness that Sidious was scheming. Yoda now battles against this horrific Qui-Gon. He tells him that he doesn't understand. He did not, and all of a sudden, the Death Star fires, destroying not only the planet, but Yoda as well. And at that point, Yoda wakes up, having lived through a very horrible nightmare just now. And who is there to greet him on Dagobah? Of course, the old trolling master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. As a Force ghost, he asks Yoda another bad dream. Yoda's still shaken up. He can't believe that Obi-Wan is still here. And Obi-Wan, in true trolling fashion, tells him that he isn't going anywhere. Not until he listens to what he has to say. Yoda, without even talking to Obi-Wan, leaves the hut. Obi-Wan now follows him and asks him where is he going. It seems that Yoda has had enough of the trolling master. He tells him that he is going far away from him. He needs herbs for his soup. The soup that Yoda used to make. It was one of Obi-Wan's favorite, as he keeps stalking Yoda. A long time ago, that was, Yoda says, when you were younglings, so young. As he travels, though, he realizes that there are no herbs around here, but Obi-Wan thinks differently. This is the moment when we realize that something of significance has been discovered by Yoda. Of course, Obi-Wan might have helped in this case, and that is the dark side cave that we see in Empire Strikes Back. I would say you're exactly where you need to be, says Obi-Wan, from a certain point of view. And for the first time ever, this is the most interesting part. Yoda shows fear. He refuses to go inside. When Obi-Wan is baffled, Yoda says that strong in the dark side, that place says nothing will it prove. Then Obi-Wan says you have nothing to fear, nothing at all. Both of them exchange glances. Obi-Wan knows what Yoda has suffered through. He just woke up from a nightmare, for crying out loud, and he is in no condition to go inside that cave where who knows what awaits him. But in the end, Yoda is convinced. He is convinced that this will be a waste of time, but yet he will still do it. Whatever you say, Master, I'll wait here just in case, says Obi-Wan. Take your time, as Yoda slowly but surely makes his way down below to the cave. For a brief moment, animals startle Yoda. Even he realizes how foolish this all is. I have become foolish and old, says Yoda. But just at that moment, a voice is heard. I never thought you were a fool, Master. Not at first, says Yoda. Who is that? Who is there? A red, dark mist surrounds this person. Why didn't you stop me, Master, when you had the chance? Dooku, says Yoda, my old apprentice? I tried to tell you, tried to walk away, even offered you my saber, but you still wouldn't listen. Once a Jedi, always a Jedi, as Dooku ignites his red blade. Couldn't you see what I was doing, Master? All those times I returned to the temple? Yoda trips and falls into the puddle below. He is now literally reliving his horrible dreams that he just had. In front of him is a dead Yaddle. It is perhaps the first time that Yoda realizes inside this dark cave the true reason for Yaddle's death. It was Count Dooku. It was you? You killed her? Asks Yoda. The first of many, says Dooku. Why? Because you let me. As a vampiric Dooku now prepares for battle against his old master, you can see his arms are just stumps, signifying the way he died, how Anakin gave him a horrifying death in the end. Because you couldn't see, blinded by the light, Dooku now completely seems like a monster, and a nod to the old Christopher Lee Dracula movies. More Jedi that Yoda feels has failed start to appear and blame Master Yoda. She force pushes him into a bunch of bones and skulls. Bones and skulls signifying all the dead Jedi that were laid to waste during Order 66. What is this? Asks Yoda. Don't you recognize the Master? Anakin is now in front of Yoda. Half man, half flames. Literally on fire. Everyone you failed. Everyone who died, says Anakin. Bail Organa, Mace Windu, Padme all start to re-emerge from the skulls. Yoda, now completely engulfed in fear, starts to yell out, "Please, I didn't know, couldn't know." And right in the nick of time, the biggest nemesis of Yoda appears. It is Palpatine shooting out force lightning from both his arms. Behind him, both of Palpatine's apprentices, Count Dooku and Darth Vader. And that is why you are here, Master Jedi. The greatest of all my apprentices, Yoda the blind, the unaware. There's no way back, you know that, don't you? Because of you, exclaims Palpatine. Yes, because of me. No way back. Hopeless. This is as Yoda starts to accept his failure, accept that he had let everybody down by not recognizing what Palpatine was really after. And that is when he hears the music. He goes back to the loving memories of his past. This is the moment when Yoda truly realizes that the greatest teacher, failure, is. He remembers. With a soft smile, he remembers everything as he bursts out of the skulls and virtually destroys not only his enemies, but his greatest enemy of the Jedi, fear. As Yoda emerges from the cave, he's still amazed that Obi-Wan is lurking around. "I told you," says Obi-Wan, "I'm not going anywhere, not until you are ready." Yes, the answer to your question is yes, says Yoda. What do you have there? A present from days gone by, and a reminder for those who are to come. It's the music instrument from Bree. It appears that Yoda had it with him this entire time. "Now go, you must," says Yoda. "The boy is in danger." So it seems Hoth is such a forbidding world, but what of you, old friend? Will you be ready when he comes? Both of them right now are talking about Luke Skywalker, who is roaming around Hoth at this point in time, and it appears that this is just before Obi-Wan appears to Luke on Hoth, instructing him to find Yoda on Dagobah. "Ready to teach?" asks Yoda. "Yes, I will. Ready to teach and ready to learn." As he plays his instrument, all those good memories of his Jedi days start to give him hope and peace. This is when I have to tell you goodbye, my friends, and this was a great story from issue number 10, again, Star Wars Yoda. It's a great series. Check it out. And talk to me about this journey down in the comments. What did you guys really think?